Hello designer, so this skirt is a dartless skirt and I used freehand method to achieve this. So this means you're not going to be drafting anything on your pattern paper. You're going to be doing your drafting directly on your fabric, and I'm going to be taking you through the simple steps that you can use to achieve this. It's going to come out perfect. You do not need your pattern for this. So first of all, you're going to see on my fabric here, I have 3 lines there. So I just mark 1 inch from the edge of the fabric and mark that as waistline. So I'll mark my waist to the hip measurement, which is 8 inches. Then I mark my waistline to the knee line, which is 18, and that's what I'm showing us right there. The waist to the hip is 8, the waist to the knee is 18, then the full length of the skirt is 43. I've marked it already on the fabric so that it's going to make our work easy. So the next thing I will do now is I'm going to be marking my waist measurement or my waist line. So on the waistline, you're going to divide your waist measurement by 4. So the waist measurement I'm using is 25. So 25 divided by 4, that's 6.25. I'm going to mark that. So make sure that on this here, you're going to be adding your seam allowance. So 6.25 is what I'm going to use here. So after here, on the hip line, I'll mark it on the waistline. Then you come to your hip line. On your hip line, you're going to be dividing your hip measurement by 4. So you're going to divide by 4. So my hip measurement I'm using is 40. So 40 divided by 4 is 10. So from that 10, you're going to remove 0.75. So that means I mark 0.925 on this part. Okay, so that 0.75 you removed from your hip measurement in the front, you're going to add it to the back, if that makes sense. Do you understand? You're going to remove 0.75 from the quarter of your hip measurement. So I divide my hip measurement by 4, which is 40. So that's 10. So I remove 0.75. So I use 0.925 there. So on the knee line here, no, we're going to be making this like a little bit of pencil. I don't want the skirt to be too pencil. So I will just remove 1 inch from what I have on the hip line. So that means on the knee line there, I marked 8.25 instead of the 9.25 that I marked on the hip line. Then I come down 1 inch from the hip line before I connected it to the knee line. So this way it's just going to give room for the hip area. So whatever you have on your knee line is what you're going to mark on your hem too, to give that pencil skirt there. So you know that I just remove 1 inch from what I have on my hip line to mark it on the knee line. Though if you want it to be really pencil, you can do 1.5, and maximum you can remove 2 inches. So that means like I have 9.25 on my hip line, you can easily remove 2 to make it very pencil. So right now I'm adding seam allowance. Can you see half of this ruler that I'm using is 1 inch. The ruler is 2 inches wide, so it's there, the measurement is there on the ruler. So that's why I'm using it to mark my seam allowance. Okay, so make sure you add your seam allowance. This is not pattern that you have to add it later. Right now you're going to add it. So you're going to come back to your waistline here and raise it on this side by a ½ inch. So I'm going to just be raising the side here by ½ inch. This is going to make your skirt be more perfect. Then come to your center front and come down by 1 inch. If you're making it for a plus size, for people with big tummy, I would say you should do up to 1.5, and at most for people with very big belly, do up to 2 inches. So this is going to help them to eliminate any kind of folding around the waist area. So I'm just going to add ½ inch seam allowance to that part. Please make sure you add your seam allowance. Don't forget your seam allowance. That's what you're going to use to sew your skirt here. So I'll just go ahead to just cut this off like that, and this is the front. So I'll use this to cut out the lining too. So now let's move to the back. So this is my back fabric. I fold it into 2 just like the front, and I mark the waistline, the hip line, and also the knee line too. And then so at the center back here, I marked 1 inch away. See this line that I'm showing us there is 1 inch away at the center back, because we're going to need that to add the seam allowance at the center back for the zip. So I'm going to first on the waistline. First thing you're going to do is to mark 1 inch. I always first do that. So after you mark 1 inch at the center back, from where you mark the previous 1 inch away, mark 1 inch and connect it to your hip line. So this is the back contouring, the back sway. So you need to do at least 0.75 or 1 inch. So after that, I'm going to mark quarter of my waist measurement, which is 6.25 that I'm using here. So and I will still just add the seam allowance on this other side. So on the hip line here, you're going to divide your hip measurements by 4. So the hip I'm working with is 40, so 40 divided by 4 is 10. Then the 0.75 you removed from the front, you're going to add it to the back. Don't forget the 0.75 you remove for the first 0.75 here. 0.75 here is going to be standard for all sizes. Do you understand? So you're going to add it to the back here. Don't forget to add it to the back. So now you're going to come to your knee line after you connected that point. On your knee line there, just go in from the center back by 0.75. Okay, by 0.75. So I'll go in by 0.75 here. Okay, so after you go in by 0.75 there, go down by 1 inch, then connect it to the hip line. This is from the center back. I'm showing us this from the center back. So connect it that way. Then from where you mark the 0.75, you're going to mark what you have on your hip line minus 1.5. So on the hip line at the back here, I have 10.75. So if I remove 1.5 from 10.75, I'm going to have 9.25. So that's 9.25 is what I'm going to mark on the knee line here. So this is to help me to get a kind of a little bit pencil effect there. So that's how you're going to do yours. So remove 1.5 from what you have on your hip line, then just mark it after you've gone in by 0.75 here. So that 0.75 that you marked on this center back here, you're going to maintain it straight down to the hem. Do you understand? You're going to maintain it straight down to the hem. So your center back just needs to just sway in a little. So that's why we are going in by 0.75 here. Don't just make the back to be straight down, so that it's going to follow the contour of the bolt at the back. So that's why we are doing this. So after you mark the 0.75 straight down, then whatever you have on your knee line, you're not going to mark it in order to connect it to have everything balanced. Do you understand? To have everything balanced. So that's 9.25 for me, and I'm going to measure it. So measuring accurately is just going to help you. Do you understand? It's going to really help you to get it right. So if you want to make yours to be more pencil than this, you can do up to 2 inches. So that means you can remove up to 2 inches from your hip measurement, just to make your pencil skirt to be more very pencil. So I'm trying to add my seam allowance of 1 inch. I always do 1 inch seam allowance, but if you do more than 1 inch seam allowance, please feel free to do that. Do you understand? If you add more than 1 inch seam allowance, please go ahead to do it. But I do 1 inch seam allowance on my dresses. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm just adding the seam allowance on this side here. So if there's any sharp edge, please make sure to just try to blend it. So at the center back, go down by ½ inch. Do you understand? At the center back, go down by ½ inch. At the front we went down by 1 inch, but at the back do ½ inch. For all sizes, ½ inch. So raise it at the side by ½ inch, just like you did at the front. So ½ inch is very standard for everyone at the center back. This is just going to give a little kind of contouring at the center back there. So this is what we have. So at the center back here, I'll go ahead to add my seam allowance of 1 inch. Okay, seam allowance of 1 inch. You can see how everything goes. So just go ahead to join your skirt together at the side and add your zipper at the center back, and that's it. It's very simple like that. So if you are going to add lining, that means you're going to use your fabric to cut out your lining, join it together. Whichever method you use for your finishing, use that. Your French seam, your backed out finishing seam, or whatever method you're going to use, please use it. So make sure, don't forget to add your seam allowance. This is your fabric. It's important to add your seam allowance. So I'll just go ahead to sew this, and that's the finish work of this dartless skirt. So if you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section. So I'll just go ahead to sew this together, and there is what I have. It's a perfect. You can use this method. So thank you very much. If you have any question, drop them in the comment section. See you in the next tutorial. Bye.